Good morning, and welcome to Monday Morning Business Foreplay. Our guest today is Bob Sima, a transformational singer, songwriter, coach, and creator of the Song of Your Soul method. Bob has released 10 award-winning albums and spent years helping people use music as more than entertainment. His work focuses on using songwriting and creative expression as tools for personal growth, emotional integration, self-discovery, and transformation. For entrepreneurs, growth isn't just about strategy and systems. It's also about staying connected to your purpose. It's about processing challenges and maintaining the energy and clarity needed to keep moving forward. Bob believes music can become a powerful tool for that inner work. In today's conversation, we're exploring how creativity influences personal and professional growth, why so many people disconnect from their deeper purpose, and how music can help us access insights that traditional business conversations often miss. Be sure to stick with us through the whole thing, because before we close, Bob will share a special gift with our audience to help you explore a deeper connection to yourself and your journey. Bob, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining me for Monday Morning Business Foreplay inside Potapalooza.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me, Coleen.
Yeah, so this will be fun. So Bob, let's just pretend like nobody in my audience knows who you are. And I want to give you the opportunity to tell us not only who you are, but what brought you to where you are in your work today.
Well, I think all of us get to it. There's a moment in your life where you have something that happens, right? And there's your life before that, and there's your life after that. And for me, that moment was realizing that, I was kind of like, you get to that place, you got everything you need in your life, and you worked for it, you had this vision, and it got there, and it wasn't all that fulfilling. It was kind of flat. And then you feel like almost like numb, like, God, I worked my whole life for that. I'm supposed to be happy. So it was a beautiful moment. I was, feeling all the feels. And I started reaching out to like spiritual and transformational work, all the people that want to inspire you, Tony Robbins, all these people. And I realized that I was forgetting like most of what they were telling me. I was listening to these long seminars and reading these books, and it wasn't sticking. And I have always had a love of music and writing songs. And I just decided I'm going to write a song about that thing that I just, blew my heart open, gave me goosebumps. I'll probably forget it tomorrow. So I'm going to write it into a song. Well, that was my moment. That was my like before and after moment where I realized, wait a second, this is what I'm here to do. I'm here to write songs so that I can remember important stuff that is empowering. It was like, mind-blowing moment. So anyway, I've been doing this for, about 20 years. I put my first album out. They're all back up on the wall. And, so it's more than that. The music now that I write is also focused on people. So I help them. So I'm a coach. I'm an awareness coach. I work with people, help them to unpack things in their life. But then at the end of our sessions, I write them a song. And so they'll never forget the things that we worked on, and it'll be a stamp, forever. They can hit play anytime they want. And so that's another thing I do. It's called the Song of Your Soul. But, for me, music, and some people have a really great relationship with music. They have their favorite songs and their artists, and they go out to live music. Some people, it's just sort of like, I don't know. I like music. It's okay. And those are the people I'm looking for, because I believe that music has such a powerful ability to crack open your defenses, get into your heart, and actually create change in you. If you listen to a song that's really good and well written, listen to it on repeat. I think so. I created this Oracle deck that goes with my music. I have like 150 songs. So you spread out the Oracle deck, you pull a card, and you got, so you're now not just listening passively to music. You're actually doing something with it. And so I'm trying to create this different, like crazy little new lens for people to look at music in a different way. And when I say music, I mean songs that have a message, and they're kind of meaty, and they're kind of like really relevant to you. So that's a lot about what I do. I tour all over the country playing concerts and doing workshops. I lead retreats, and music is kind of the center of my whole ecosystem of my own original songs.
Well, Bob Sima, that's a lot. And
that is a lot. Did y'all get that?
And I love it. I will tell you, I'm going to tell you a secret. So I'm not sure what age you are, but I'm from Gen X. I am almost 56.
Yeah.
And so I was raised in Florida and I loved to be outside. So school was a struggle for me, not because I couldn't learn, but because my mind was in the trees and I liked it there. So
Mm.
when I got to high school, I realized that I really needed to learn some of the things that,
Yeah.
if I had to pass a test, I might have to learn or listen a little
Yeah.
bit. But I was
Yeah.
too busy looking out the window because why do they put you? I don't know if you remember this, but why do they put you in a classroom where the walls are from, 2/3 of the walls from the floor up 2/3 away is all glass window looking outside?
Yeah.
Because
Because so you can
focus on the
daydream.
person in the
That's what
front.
they're for.
That's what I did. But then
Yeah.
I got this gift. It was a cassette recorder. I don't know if you know what those are, but it was a
Yes.
cassette recorder. And so you could just put it on your desk and push record and record what they were saying. And then I went home and at night when I had to be sleeping anyways, I would play it. And I did much better on my tests. And
You
I
just
know back then
yeah.
people thought that was whack. Like, no, you don't. I'm like, no, really.
You were a genius back then, and you still are. But I mean, that was a genius move because that's what hypnotherapy works on. It works on
Well,
your subconscious.
that
Yeah,
was really worked for me then. And
smart
I
gal.
think these songs, and so I'm assuming, Bob, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm assuming that they are catchy, that they are
Yeah.
memorable, that they will be easy for your clients to pull up at a moment's notice or
Yep.
a trigger, maybe when
Mm-hmm.
they are triggered to easily pull this up and be
Mm-hmm.
able to sing through it, right? Like I have a couple things I sing to my children when I was rocking them, and my oldest is 34. And
Mm,
so I now sing them. I have a 2-year-old granddaughter, and she's adorable. And she always tells me,
mm,
Rockabye, Grammy, because she wants me to sing to her. And it's the same exact
mm.
song. And it's simple and stupid, but I sing the thing to her, and everybody's been saying that's in my life. I have almost 14 grandkids. They've all had the opportunity of hearing me sing
Wow.
that.
Wow.
So I love what you're doing. I think it's brilliant.
Thank you.
I think it's great. And I love
Thank
all
you.
things music. I've had never had experience with this kind of music, but I did have a son who has a fourth nerve palsy, which is
Mm,
a nerve and muscle and nerve disease in his eyes, a
mhm,
degenerative disease. And we use music therapy for him, which they
mm,
go in and create a
mhm.
melody that his muscles react to. And then he would
Yeah.
listen to it for so long each day. So
Yeah.
I love everything about that. But let's
Mhm.
talk a little bit more about how they can use this tool that you're giving them repeatedly after they're done working with you just for personal growth and transformation, because we don't stay at that spot, right? I mean, I hope we don't. I can see where it would work for a little while, but unlike my nursery rhyme that I sing for 20 or 30 years, are they going to need to come back and get another song?
Well, it depends. I mean, sometimes, we'll be working on, I mean, the first song I ever did, to be candid, to create this whole thing is because I had a dear friend of mine whose husband had passed away and they were married for decades and decades. And I could see that she was kind of struggling. I mean, it's grief, it's normal, right? But I felt like I wanted to write a song for her. And I don't even, it was this crazy impulse. So yeah, I wrote a song for her to traverse the valley of grief that she was in. She'll probably use that for the rest of her days, but that doesn't mean she can't come back to me and say, you know what? I'm starting a business and I need an anthem because my business is going to be about bop, 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 bop. And okay, why are you doing this business? Well, I mean, because I want to make money. No, 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 no. Why are you doing it? Well, because my dad had this and when I was a kid, there's a story. There's a story. So I'll come back and write songs for people. I'll write one for their wedding. I'll write one for a funeral. I'll write one for their grandkid, for graduations. It is not just a one shot deal. It can continue to go to
So,
play out. Yeah.
okay, so let me ask you this, and no
Yeah.
offense meant if you don't do this. Do you do
Yeah.
jingles?
No, I mean, I could. I mean, I'm not opposed to anything. Anytime somebody is interested in something, I'm always a maybe. Everything's a maybe.
Well, I ask you that because we're talking about the story effect on this. And the thing is that there was a song, it was Levi's 501 Blues commercial
Hmm.
jingle back, in the ice ages. And I know every bit of that jingle. And when I tell other people, I couldn't find anybody else that knew it. I finally, and I've Googled it and Googled it and Googled it, but it literally played for such a short time that it took me forever of Googling to find anything about it. And so jingles, I think, are really catchy ways to
Yeah.
bring clients in And
Yeah.
so just looking at the entrepreneur side, I think
Yeah.
that would be a fun thing to do.
Yes. And I shouldn't say I've done it incognito. So I
Okay.
like, look, this is not going to be under my name. I'm not ever going to publish this. This is your jingle. I can write anything. I'm seriously, it's such, I have a loop pedal. So I'll be playing in a concert and I'll just hit my loop and I'll do and I'll get a little riff going. Sometimes I'll put a little mic out in the audience. I'm like, come on, anybody want to sing with me? And I'll just come up with a little phrase, like whatever. Monday morning's here again, whatever. And
Yeah.
then you get the audience singing and it just turns into this. So the answer is I could absolutely write a jingle. And if you think about marketing, I mean, that's, the word manipulation, it's there, but they're trying to get you to remember something. So songs are they're tools. They're tools to get you to remember something. So if you sit around and listen to a bunch of crappy messages on a Monday morning or whatever, how are you going to feel that day? It's going to be in your consciousness. I'm sorry, it just is. Why not pick a better song? Why not, jingles are notoriously, memorable, like all the old songs from our youth. How you remember most of them, plop, flop, fizz, fizz.
Oh, what a relief it is.
There you go.
See, I do sing a little bit. Okay.
You do. I heard that.
I'm thinking from like an entrepreneurial standpoint.
Yeah.
Like at the beginning of my podcast, I always play a 1-minute commercial of some sort, just because sometimes it takes a minute for I restream everything. It takes a minute for everything to catch up. And so you want to have something playing. And so that would actually be a brilliant place, I think, to have a promotional jingle about my podcast. So just
we need to talk about that one. Yeah, for sure.
Oh,
I think it would be a lot of fun.
I
I just want to say, I really enjoy you. You have a very beautiful personality and your energy and just this possibility all around you. So I love it. I'd love to work with you in some way.
Thank you. Thank you. It does sound fun. So you created the Song of Your Soul method.
Yep.
Can you dive more into what the method is?
Yeah, I mean, some of it's secret sauce that
Right.
only I could do, but no, I haven't really had certified anybody in this yet. But it's a very intentional conversation, right? So it's just like your podcast and just the way things are structured. You have a starting point. You want it to go here, then you want to make sure you go there. You don't want to miss this, and you got to have the thing at the end. It's the same thing. The beginning is like more like just the facts, man. I get in and I want to hear like what's this, like if I'm writing a song about legacy, like the story of their whole life, I need to know all this stuff. So I'll ask the right questions and it won't be painstaking like they have to tell me their whole life story. But then I do this, I call it the map of your soul. And then I go down into the emotional landscapes of the map. Like, so the landscape is not flat. It has topography too. So there's emotions that are tied with things. So then, we start getting into what I call archetypes, and archetypes are really just like characters, they're stories. And so in that way, it's starting to form. I get this thing, it's forming in my mind, this visual image of what this song is going to feel like. And then usually toward the end of it is when I'm asking them, and they're texting me. I get people to text me a lot because I love it. It's like that instant thing. If you see something somewhere that, like even on a billboard, that looks cool and you like the words, send it to me. And if you have a phrase, you wake up in the morning, you're like, it's this woman the other day she just said, both my feet jumped in. I don't know why, I just woke up with that in my head. Guess what the name of her song is? So, I mean, that all tied back to a conversation we had. So, yeah, so it's a process that I've kind of created around a storyboard, if you will.
Yeah, I love that. So what have you discovered about the connection between self-awareness, emotional growth, and long-term success?
Everything. Self-awareness is the key to life. And, success is another thing. But if you do not have self-awareness, you're going to have a very difficult life, because life is going to try to teach you things. And along the way, if you're not listening and you're not watching yourself and watching the way that life is banging up against you, you're not reading the room, if you will, your own room, you're going to have a challenge. Your emotions are going to be out of whack. And when you're fully self-aware and you're fully aware of your emotional state, you can manage your emotional states. You lead from your mind up, not your heart, not your emotions up. And when you're leading from your mind has the ideas. It has the power. It has the way to create your success. And your emotions are, they're guideposts. They're not dictations. They're not. You don't have to do them. So I think self-awareness is pretty much the key to success. And I don't know how you can get it without self-awareness. So
I would agree. And I think that people are sometimes afraid of self-awareness more than they are afraid of being led by their emotions. It's quick and easy to rely on the emotions, and so they let the emotions take the lead, right?
Yeah.
And I cannot tell you how many times everybody, you hear all the time, I didn't feel like it, or, well, I fell out of love, or, they're just led by the emotion, not by the action. They're not being led actually by the awareness of everything around them. It's just emotion. And I think that is a really quick, slippery slide.
It is. Yeah. I mean, once you start on one emotion, it leads to another, and then you start to spiral. And how good are you going to be at anything in that state? You're just not effective. But the awareness could pull you out. I mean, I actually call myself an awareness coach. I use that term because, I've studied a lot in the Eastern traditions, and like it's all about self-awareness. So it's a great question. I love it. It's a very intriguing way to look.
I think that it can pull you out, but it can also ground you. And when you're aware of it and you embrace utilizing self-awareness as a grounding tool, then you're able to say things like, I can do hard things. This is going to pass quickly. Just keep doing it. Things like that sidestep the emotion. We're not dismissing the emotion. I'm a very emotional person. Clearly, I have almost 14 grandkids. I have to feel something, right?
If you're not crying at least twice a day, I don't know what's wrong with you.
But I have enough self-awareness to assess the situation and myself and look at it a little bit different. But when you do that, I think the long-term success comes actually from the emotional growth that happens when you are self-aware.
Yeah, because you mentioned that about growth. I think I missed that a little bit, but I don't think you grow unless you're aware. I don't just think you stay in the same place, and the awareness is the launching pad to all of it. So
absolutely. So we have just a few minutes left. Will you please tell us about your gift, what it is, and how people can use it?
Yes. So my gift is called the 5-Day Music as Spiritual Practice Journey. So you just sign up. You go to bobsima.com, go to the bottom of the page, sign up, and you'll get 5 emails. And these are not just emails like with content. These are experiences. There'll be a song. There'll be a different breathwork practice. I teach a whole class called Practical Breathwork. So it's multi-dimensional, multimodal, alchemical, whatever your term, experience. And we traverse different emotions. We'll be talking about gratitude. We'll talk about appreciation. We'll talk about grief. So it's 5 days of like maybe just trying out what it feels like to actually use music as a practice, as a tool. And at the end of that journey, most people, they want more. They want to know, like, how can I do this more? So it's a great way to get started on this journey.
I love that. Bob, thank you for joining us. One of the biggest takeaways I feel from this conversation is that growth doesn't always happen through another strategy or tactic or another productivity tool. Sometimes growth just happens when we create the space to practice self-awareness, to actually listen to ourselves, our experiences, and the lessons that we've been being too busy to hear. So if today's conversation resonated with you, make sure that you connect with Bob. Continue the conversation and grab his free gift. All of this information will be in the description. Bob, thank you for joining us for Monday Morning Business Foreplay inside Potapalooza.
Thank you, Coleen. Appreciate you having me.
I appreciate having you. Bye-bye.